Winter carries a mysterious legacy woven from fear, ancient rituals, and the shadowy beings that once haunted the darkest nights of the year. Behind today's festive lights lies a forgotten world where demons, witches, and masked guardians shape the meaning of the season. This video will take you deep into the chilling origins of the winter monsters that still echo through our traditions. But what ancient forces gave birth to these terrifying spirits? And why have these dark figures survived across centuries, long after their original purpose faded? Before we begin, remember to subscribe to our channel, Best of History and Mythology, leave a like, and activate the notification bell so you never miss new content. Winter in the ancient world was a season marked by fear, superstition, and the struggle for survival. Long before modern Christmas traditions emerged, communities throughout Northern and Central Europe believed that the winter solstice opened a fragile boundary between the human realm and the world of hidden forces. As the sun weakened and nights stretched endlessly, people imagined unseen beings moving through forests and mountains, especially during the so-called dark nights of midwinter. This period became fertile ground for winter folklore, ancestral rituals, and terrifying midwinter spirits that shaped early seasonal celebrations. Ancient European cultures viewed the solstice as a sacred turning point. The colder the winter, the stronger the belief that supernatural entities roamed freely, searching for warmth, offerings, or human error. Many communities practiced protective rites, believing that loud noises, firelight, and ritual disguises could ward off wandering spirits. These traditions, rooted in pre-Christian winter customs, created a unique fusion of fear and reverence toward the invisible forces believed to govern nature during the coldest part of the year. The mountainous regions of the Alps held some of the most intense winter beliefs. Isolated villages surrounded by dense woods and harsh weather relied heavily on oral storytelling, giving rise to powerful myths about winter demons, nature guardians, and night roamers. These tales were not meant to entertain, but to teach survival, discipline, and respect for the rhythms of the season. Concepts such as household purity, hard work, and preparedness were reinforced through stories portraying winter as a time of trials. Failure to respect these rules was thought to attract dangerous entities that thrived during the longest nights. The psychological weight of winter shaped every aspect of rural life. Food scarcity, sickness, and isolation were constant threats, and communities created symbolic figures to represent these fears. Rituals such as fire ceremonies, masked processions, and offerings to ancestral spirits were meant to maintain harmony and protect homes from misfortune. These practices helped explain natural forces in a world without modern science, where the silence of snow-covered landscapes felt alive with unseen presence. From these centuries of belief emerged an intricate blend of Alpine folklore, pagan winter spirits, and midwinter rituals that would later influence many of the darker characters associated with the holiday season. Although these early traditions varied from region to region, they shared a common idea. Winter was more than a change in weather. It was a spiritual battleground, shaped by ancient fears and the human need to find meaning in the darkest time of the year. Among the winter creatures that survived into the modern age, Krampus remains one of the most visually striking and culturally persistent. His appearance is designed to provoke immediate fear. Twisted horns, animalistic fur, iron chains, and a grotesquely exaggerated tongue create a figure that stands in sharp contrast to the gentler imagery of the holiday season. This terrifying presence did not originate as a simple warning for misbehavior. Instead, Krampus evolved within Alpine communities as a symbolic enforcer of order during a time of year when chaos and uncertainty felt closest. His form blends ancient mountain folklore, pre-Christian protective figures, and ritual masquerades that emphasized strength and intimidation. Krampus traditionally emerges during early December, particularly on the night known as Krampusnacht. This event transforms quiet winter streets into scenes filled with firelight, clanging bells, and the echo of wooden masks striking the cold air. Participants who portray Krampus do not merely dress up. They adopt a specific role meant to challenge and confront. Carrying bundles of birch sticks and heavy goat bells, they storm through towns with loud movements meant to startle and command attention. The practice reflects old beliefs associated with driving out harmful influences through noise and dramatic presence. It also reinforces social expectations tied to discipline, effort, and moral behavior. Krampus encounters were once deeply personal experiences. Before they became public festivals, he visited homes unannounced, evaluating a child's behavior through questions and symbolic gestures. The goal was never purely punishment. Instead, the encounter acted as a ritual of reflection, encouraging children to demonstrate responsibility and respect within the household. Over time, tales began to portray Krampus as a collector of the disobedient, carrying misbehaving children in baskets or dragging them away with chains. These stories grew from the psychological pressure of winter life and from community desires to represent consequences through vivid imagery. Even today, Krampus remains strongly connected to handcrafted tradition. Each mask, usually carved from wood, follows regional styles influenced by local artists who dedicate months to perfecting demonic designs. These masks, along with fur-covered costumes and heavy bells, form an art form rooted in Alpine craftsmanship. This combination of folklore, artistry, and ritual performance makes Krampus unique among holiday beings. He is not simply a frightening character, but a cultural guardian shaped by collective imagination. Krampus also stands apart due to his dual role within winter storytelling. While he enforces discipline, he simultaneously represents the raw, untamed force of nature. His imagery echoes the wildness of mountain landscapes, the unpredictability of winter storms, and the tension between civilization and wilderness. Because of this, Krampus has become a prominent figure in modern explorations of dark Christmas mythology. His traditions offer insight into how communities historically balanced fear, morality, and celebration during challenging seasons. Do you think traditions like Krampusnacht should still be preserved today, or do they risk being too frightening for modern society? Share your thoughts below. In the heart of Central Europe, the winter season gave rise to figures who blurred the boundaries between guardian, judge, and supernatural wanderer. Among these beings, Frau Perchta stands out as one of the most enigmatic. Her presence during the 12 nights of winter is tied to ideas of order, ritual purity, and seasonal transition. She appears in two distinct forms. In some tales, she is described as a radiant woman dressed in white, representing protection and domestic harmony. In darker traditions, she becomes a fearsome entity with a beaked mask and wild hair, inspecting households for signs of negligence or laziness. Her dual nature reflects the belief that winter spirits could reward diligence or expose hidden faults, making her one of the most complex winter folklore entities. Frau Perchta's influence extends into household customs that encourage discipline and preparation. Families believed she examined spinning, weaving, and the completion of winter chores. If tasks remained unfinished, she was said to enforce consequences that served as moral lessons. These stories were not told simply to frighten. They reinforced cultural expectations centered around responsibility and readiness for the months ahead. Her myth mirrors the values of mountain communities whose survival depended on organization and steady work. This connection between domestic life and supernatural oversight makes Frau Perchta a key figure in Alpine winter traditions. Another important winter character is Belsnickel, a solitary wanderer known for his unpredictable behavior. Unlike spirits tied to ancient mountain beliefs, Belsnickel's origins developed within German-speaking regions where he acted as a test of honesty and discipline. Dressed in ragged clothing or patched furs, he carried pockets of treats and a switch of branches. When visiting households, he challenged children to demonstrate good behavior before offering rewards. His rough appearance and stern attitude created a sense of tension, blending caution with the promise of generosity. Belsnickel's role emphasizes moral evaluation, personal growth, and the idea that one must earn favor through sincerity and effort. The winter season also introduced mysterious figures often grouped as winter witches, shadowy beings who patrolled villages during the longest nights. These characters varied from region to region, but they shared common traits. They were believed to possess the ability to see through deceit, expose wrongdoing, and influence the fortune of entire households. Their presence maintained social balance by reinforcing norms through storytelling. These myths supported the belief that moral behavior had tangible consequences, especially during periods of hardship. For many communities, the idea of winter witches acted as an additional layer of spiritual awareness during the colder months. Frau Perchta, Belsnickel, and the winter witches add significant depth to holiday folklore by highlighting the moral and symbolic dimensions of the season. They represent vigilance, accountability, and the transformative power of midwinter nights. Their stories remind us that winter customs were shaped not only by fear, but by the desire to guide behavior, protect communities, and preserve harmony. Through their complex roles, these figures continue to influence legends, celebrations, and cultural identity across regions that still value traditional winter mythology. If you are enjoying this journey into ancient winter legends, make sure to subscribe to Best of History and Mythology. Hit the like button and activate the bell so you never miss upcoming historical and mythological stories. In many Alpine and Northern European regions, the arrival of winter brought not only cold winds and long nights, but also dramatic public rituals that transformed fear into celebration. The most striking of these were the monster parades, events where masked participants filled the streets with thunderous bells, fiery torches, and powerful movements meant to stir the senses. These gatherings did more than entertain. They symbolized the community's attempt to assert control over the season, using spectacle and sound to repel unwanted influences. This fusion of tradition, performance, and symbolic protection created a visual language that shaped local identity and winter folklore. The parades often featured handcrafted masks representing a range of supernatural beings. While some masks displayed gentle or benevolent expressions, others showcased exaggerated features, twisted horns, and wild animalistic designs. Each mask carried regional significance, reflecting the imagination and beliefs of the local craftsmen who carved them. These artisans passed down their skills across generations, creating a lineage of winter mask making that remains a central part of Alpine cultural heritage. The elaborate costumes, usually made from fur, leather, and natural materials, emphasized the raw force associated with winter spirits and the primal energy believed to move through the cold months. Fire played a crucial role in these winter rituals. Torches and bonfires lit the night, illuminating the swirling movements of performers and casting dramatic shadows across the snow. The combination of firelight and monstrous figures created an atmosphere that felt both festive and supernatural. In many traditions, fire was viewed as a barrier against darkness, symbolizing renewal and the gradual return of sunlight after the solstice. The flames also represented the community's determination to protect itself from misfortune, reinforcing the idea that winter could be challenged through collective action and symbolic displays of power. Noise was another key element. Large cowbells strapped to the hips of performers produced an overwhelming rhythm that echoed through narrow streets and mountain valleys. These sounds were believed to drive away harmful forces and awaken the protective spirits of the season. The loud processions had a psychological effect as well, uniting villagers in a shared experience that strengthened solidarity during the most challenging time of year. This blend of sound, movement, and symbolism turned ancient fear into a communal celebration, transforming once isolated villages into vibrant centers of winter tradition. Over time, these parades evolved into structured festivals that still captivate audiences today. Despite modernization, many communities continue to preserve their unique winter rituals, honoring the connection between ancestral beliefs and contemporary cultural expression. The parades highlight the creativity, resilience, and imagination of the regions where they originated. They serve as living reminders of how ancient fears were transformed into festive traditions that celebrate identity, craftsmanship, and the powerful mythology of winter. Which winter tradition fascinates you the most? The monstrous parades, the handcrafted masks, or the fire rituals meant to push back the darkness? Tell us in the comments. The persistence of dark winter figures across centuries reveals a deeper purpose beneath their frightening appearance. These beings emerged as reflections of the inner tensions experienced during the harshest time of the year. Winter brought scarcity, sickness, and a feeling of vulnerability that communities struggled to confront. By shaping these fears into recognizable creatures, people created a symbolic framework that allowed them to process uncertainty. These figures acted as reminders that survival depended on discipline, preparedness, and respect for natural cycles. Their presence reinforced the idea that guidance could come from forces that appeared intimidating, yet served a protective role within the cultural imagination. These winter demons also played a psychological function that strengthened social cohesion. Communities believed that acknowledging the darker aspects of the season helped restore balance. Through masked rituals, cautionary stories, and seasonal visits, people externalized their anxieties and transformed them into rituals that encouraged resilience. This dynamic created a sense of shared responsibility, where every member of the household had a role in maintaining order. The symbolic weight of these figures helped communities navigate the transition from darkness to light, turning fear into motivation and responsibility into tradition. A fascinating comparison emerges when examining the Bulgarian Kukeri, a tradition that shares striking similarities despite occurring at a different point in the calendar. The Kukeri are performers who wear large fur-covered costumes, wooden masks, and heavy bells. Their purpose is to chase away harmful spirits and protect the community from misfortune as the new agricultural cycle begins. Though not connected to Christmas, the Kukeri reflect the same cultural logic that shaped Alpine winter demons. Their vivid masks, rhythmic bell sounds, and ritual processions reveal a belief in confronting invisible forces through collective action. This connection highlights how separate regions developed similar strategies to manage fear, restore balance, and mark seasonal transitions. What sets the Kukeri apart is their focus on renewal and the promise of a fertile year. Their presence symbolizes the cleansing of old energies and the welcoming of prosperity. In contrast, winter demons like Krampus or Perchta emphasize introspection, discipline, and moral evaluation during the darkest period of the year. Yet both traditions rely on the transformative power of disguise, noise, and symbolic confrontation. They demonstrate how communities across Europe expressed resilience through ritual performance, reinforcing their belief that harmony required confronting both light and shadow. The revelation behind these traditions lies in the recognition that winter demons and Kukeri-like figures represent more than folklore. They embody humanity's timeless need to give shape to the unseen struggles of the season. By turning fear into ritual, they created a pathway for emotional strength and cultural continuity. These beings remind us that ancient communities understood an essential truth. Facing the darkness head-on makes the return of light more meaningful. Their legacy continues to influence modern celebrations, offering insight into how people once navigated the most challenging season with creativity, symbolic power, and a deep awareness of the natural world. Thank you for watching. May the light guide you through every shadow, and we'll meet again in the next chapter of History and Myth, here on Best of History and Mythology.